Good afternoon, all. We will be starting soon. We are waiting for the more participants. Let's start the session. Good afternoon, all. Now, let me introduce you all with our second speaker. I would like to extend a very warm welcome to all of our esteemed faculty members who are joining us today for this national level faculty development program on cloud computing and security. A special welcome and thanks to our esteemed speaker, Professor Rashid Patel, for taking the time to be with us today at day 3 of National Level Faculty Development Program. Professor Rashid Patel is a renowned expert in cloud technology and cloud security and in image processing with 14 years of experience in cloud technology. He has a wealth of knowledge and practical strategies to share with us on cloud computing. Currently, sir has 11th global certification, which is by Microsoft and Oracle. You can see on the screen he has done. He is also a MCT, Microsoft certified trainer. He has done expert level certification by the Microsoft Azure. You can see on the screen like DevOps. He has done DevOps engineer expert level certification. He has done Azure Microsoft Azure solution architect certification, which is again a expert level certification. And you can see there are many more achievement he has done in his career, and he is a Microsoft certified trainer and also a corporate trainer, as he is providing trainings at the national and international clients like Infosys, and many more clients are there. As an educator, we understand the importance of continuous learning and development. This program is designed to equip you with the latest tools and methodologies to enhance your teaching practice, promote student engagement, and ultimately achieve academic excellence. Now, I would like Professor Rashid Patel, sir, to to move the to move the session ahead.
Thanks, Sahar ma'am. Am I audible, Sahar ma'am?
Yeah, sir, you're audible.
Okay. Thank you, Sahar ma'am. And thanks to all the faculty member who has joined the session today. So let's start with today's session. Yeah. So as you can see, is my screen visible, Sahar ma'am?
Yeah, sir, visible.
Yeah. Okay. So the agenda of today's session is basically I have divided this session into two parts. Initially, we will start with the configuration of subscription. So in the subscription part, we will see what is subscription and how to obtain the subscription. As we know, if you want to deploy anything on the cloud, either it can be your compute services, it can be infrastructure as a service, it can be platform as a service. So if someone asks me, I need to deploy virtual machines on the cloud, either it can be any of the cloud platform, it can be your Microsoft, it can be your AWS, Amazon Web Services, and Google or Oracle. So you need to have a subscription to deploy anything on the cloud. As our previous speaker, Professor Rashmi Tiwari, I was going to that sessions. It was a very great session and informative sessions, and mostly when we are dealing with the labs, we need to deal with the practicals and the deployments on the cloud. So we need to have a subscription for that. So she also deployed some of the cloud services like virtual machines, then database, then logic apps, then storage accounts. So for this, all the deployments on the cloud, if you want to deploy anything on the cloud, you need to have a subscription. So how to get this subscription? That is a very important part. How to obtain the subscription and what is the basic definition of the subscription? So initially, in the first part, we will look into the subscriptions, and the second most important, very very important part, either you can work with the AWS, you can go with the Microsoft, you can go with the Google. If you start with the cloud technology in Microsoft or Google or your AWS, the technology just starts with the basics of the cloud computing, then the advantages and the disadvantages, then the services of the cloud computing, then the deployment models of the cloud computing. And the first or second module is always a intra id. Now what is this intra id? I will just show you. uh, so we will start with the subscription part, and what is subscription we will see in today's session. And then how to obtain the subscription, how to get the subscription. If anyone wants to deploy anything on the cloud, that is basically the cloud based services, either it can be infrastructure, or if you want to deploy machine learning algorithms, if you want to deploy, if you want to do any image classification, So that is all comes under the platform as a services. So you need to have a subscription. So first part we will see about the subscription, the agenda of today's session, and the second one is your intra ID. In very simple words, it is a IAM. IAM is nothing but how you are going to authenticate and authorize the users. Identity and access management solution. So previously it was Azure Active Directory. Its name has been changed to Entra ID. Now it's called as Azure Entra ID. Name has been changed 8-9 months before, and some of the portal changes has also been done. So it was Azure Active Directory. In short, whenever you need to create a user, you need to provide the roles to that user, what roles you are going to provide to that user. So that all comes under intra id. So we will discuss about two types of roles. Always remember, this is your one role will be your intra id roles versus your RBAC. RBAC is nothing but role based access control. This one is your role based access control, is nothing but how you are providing the roles to the user, that is fine grained access management. So this in detail we will see about this, and there will be a labs on the users, how to create the users. If some of the participants will ask me, sir, can you provide me the access of the portal, I can definitely provide you the access of the portal. So how you need to create that users, how you can provide the access of the portal, what privilege access you can provide, what least access you can provide. I can't provide the access, full access of the portal. I will ask them what you need to deploy. If you are going to deploy a virtual machine, only that much access should be provided to that users. That is basically comes under the RBAC access, role based access control. Now this all goes towards the resources part, but initially, uh, before the authorization part, I am saying about what access he or she needs to get into, like he or she needs an access of a virtual machine, or maybe the database, or maybe storage account. So that is an authorization part. But initially I need to create the users. That all comes under the intra id roles. And lastly, we will see about the cost management. Cost management on cloud. So when you talk about the cost management on cloud, there comes two important parameters. One is your pricing calculator, and another part is your TCO. TCO is nothing but your total cost of ownership. Now we will see one by one. Each and every topic will be covered, including the demonstration of the labs. Just give me. Okay, so to start with the first part, subscription. So the question that comes to our mind when you talk about how to configure the subscription, how to obtain the subscription. In short, when you talk about the subscription, in order to take any of the advantages of the cloud-based services, like if you want cloud-based services is nothing but deployment of the cloud services. That can be your compute services, virtual machines, storage accounts. That can be your networking services, virtual networks. Then that can be your that can be some other services like platform as a service, artificial intelligence, machine learning. So in order to take an advantages of cloud based services, if anyone wants to deploy cloud based services on the cloud, then you need to have a subscription for that. It is same as, very simple, it is same as your Spotify premium, it is same as your Hotstar, it is same as your what I can say, Netflix. If you want to if you want to take the access of that part, you need to have a subscription of Netflix, you need to have a subscription of Hotstar. Same is in case of the Azure also. So whenever you need to take the subscription, so in short, what will be the definition of subscription, Azure subscription? That is nothing but, one of the biggest advantages of the cloud is that its services can be used by taking the subscription from the Microsoft. So this can be the definition, or you can say Azure subscription are the logical unit which is basically linked with an Azure account. So in very simple words, whenever you take a subscription, you need to create an identity. That's very important. Just take an example of a Gmail account. If you want to access the mail, you need to sign up to a Gmail account. So you need to provide the identity, like any of the name, Rashid Patel @gmail.com, and some name and some password you need to provide. That identity will be stored on the Gmail, and then your account will be created. The same when you take the subscription, the moment the person creates the Azure subscription, he will be associated with one Azure account, and that account will be your default directory, and inside that account there can be your multiple subscription. As you can see, there are three subscription. One is your development subscription, another one is your testing. Just take an example of an engineering college. There might be many departments. You have taken an Azure account, you have taken you have taken one subscription for one department. It can be electronics and telecommunication department. One account is created, account will be a single account. Subscription will always be linked with a single account, that will be an Azure account, and inside that account you can have multiple subscriptions. So that account will be for electronics and telecommunication department. Again, if you take the subscription in that account only, you can take it for computer department, you can take it for information technology department, you can take it for mechanical department. Like that, you can just bifurcate your subscription for the billing purpose. So you can just see to it how much billing is been done for the computer department, and in how much billing will be done for the IT department. Like that, the bifurcation, proper bifurcation can be done on the cloud. And inside the subscription, whenever you see, as Professor Rashmi Tiwari has gone through the labs in the previous sessions, so you need to select the subscription, then you need to select the resource group. So that this is basically the logical hierarchy of the Azure. Initially, it will be a subscription. Inside the subscription, there will be a resource group where you will be deploying the resources. That is basically a logical container where all the resources will be put into. So this is how the work flows. And whenever, remember this word, I will show you the subscription part on the portal. Whenever a person creates a subscription or he obtains a subscription, he will be a global administrator. I will show you this part on the portal. Now, how to obtain the subscription is the second part. This one is your how to obtain the subscription. So basically, in very simple words, if you want to take the subscription, you can just create a personal free account straight away. The first part is your, yeah, personal free account. So just as you create a Gmail account, you need to sign up to the Gmail. If you want to take the subscription from the Microsoft, you can just create a personal free account and you can just start it right away. So you get $200. Remember this, for a 1 month free trial. You get $200. And this, and if any students wants to enroll students account, he need to provide the details of the ID card. So he will be getting 100 credits, $100. But when you talk about the any of the person, but here you need to provide the For $200, you need to provide the credit card details. Only 2 rupees will be deducted from your account. And once it is deducted, you can use that $200 for 1 month. Automatically, after 1 month, if you are not doing anything with the account, it will be disabled. No need to worry. Your amount will not be debited from the credit card. Only for that month, if if the amount goes above $200, then you need to pay for it. But if the amount is below $200, then it will be automatically disabled unless and until you upgrade that account. So for 1 month trial, it is $200. Same is 1 month student account trial, it is $200. Sorry, it is $100. So this is how I will just show you to how to avail these services. First, I will go to my portal. Yeah. So this is my portal. As you can see, and in this portal, as you can see, this is very important. Just see on the top, I just wanted to know this part to you. This email ID, you can see Rashid Patel 2026 at the rate outlook.com. So the domain, you can see the domain Rashid Patel 2026 outlook dot on Microsoft.com. So this is very important. Whenever you obtain a subscription, you need to provide the identities to the Microsoft, and that identity is nothing but your Rashid Patel 2026, and Outlook.com is nothing but a domain for the Microsoft. Now going back to the subscription, this is my subscription. As you can see, this is now active. This will be active for 1 month, and after 1 month it will be disabled. Only 2 rupees will be credited from your account at the time of verification of this account. So this is my account. As you can see here, there is this part, billing part, 21/5 to 26. So this is 1 month, and you can see this is Azure Pass. So this is an offer. This is an Azure Pass, and I get $100 for this. Basically, as an MCT, every week I get $100 to deliver the sessions to the corporates. So this is basically a 1 month pass, and this is currently active. And once you start the deployments, like if you start deploying the virtual machines, the storage accounts, anything on the cloud, $100 credits will be debited. Like 96, it will be $96 after a few days, depending on the deployments, like what kind of virtual machines you are deploying, M series, S series, depending on the configuration of the virtual machines, depending on the configuration of the storage account, everything, depending on your applications, the credits will be debited from your account. Once it goes beyond $100, so you need to pay. If it is under $100, then it is okay. And unless and until you upgrade your account after 1 month, you need to you don't need to pay anything for it. So this is basically the subscription which I want to tell you, and how you can take this subscription from your end. You can just go to this link. You can create the subscription free of cost. I'm sharing this link in the chat box, and if you have any queries, you can just put into the chat box. Our chat moderator will definitely answer you, or else if I will get the time between the session, I will definitely answer you. So this is how this is basically azure.microsoft.com free. So you can start with your start free. Oh, just give me a minute. So you can see here, start with USD $200, and you get $200. You get some services in this $200 for free, and after that 1 month you need to upgrade if you want to. So already I am signed into this account, so it will be like you need to provide the identities. See, looks like you already have an Azure account. So I will just go back. access into the private data. Yeah. So this is how you need to provide the identity here. You can use your email ID if you want to, but it's better to create a new one with an outlook.com. So you can create here. I'm just showing you. Get a new email. So it can be an outlook.com, it can be hotmail. There are two domains which is showing. So you can go for outlook and then you can provide the identity like anything, Sachin, hello. So this will be your name, this will be your domain. So like that way you can click on next and then you can, this email ID is already used 452. So like that way you can go and create the account. At last you need to provide the credit card details, and that is basically only for the verification part that you are providing the proper credit card, so that once so that beyond $200 if it goes to, you can just pay the charges. So in short, when you talk about the subscription, yeah, in short, when you talk about the subscription, it is nothing but how you are going to take the services of the cloud. Just a simple example, Netflix. You need to pay, you need to take the subscription, and you need to avail the services. It is same here, you take the subscription. So the first way is like you can create the personal free account. There are some resellers also in the market. Resellers are nothing but it can be a company, it can be an individuals in the market. So they also provide they basically have the partnership with the Microsoft, or if it is AWS domain, they have the partnership with AWS, and they sell, distribute, or customize the cloud compound computing solution. So you can just contact the resellers also. They also provide the simple and flexible way to purchase the cloud services. But basically, we basically as a we don't want to go much into the production environment. We just want to deal with the testing and development phase, so we go with the personal account only. Second one is your resellers. You can go for the reseller. But what about the organization? When you talk about the organization, big companies, those who want to take this, those who want to take these cloud computing services, those who want to go to the cloud-based solutions, so they basically take the enterprise agreements. So when you talk about the cloud computing solutions in big companies like Infosys, they want to deploy a private cloud into their organization, or they want to take the cloud computing solutions services, either it can be infrastructure, anything. So they just sign the agreements with the Microsoft, that is basically an enterprise agreements. It can be for 1 year, it can be for 3 years. That is basically how the Microsoft designs, and depending on that agreements they get the discounts also. 1 year they get 20% discount, 3 years they get something 50% discount, depending on your on-premises workloads. So enterprise agreements are basically used by the organization, makes an upfront monetary commitment and consume services throughout the year. So once it completes 1 year, again they will upgrade it for one other year, or they can just take it for 3 years. In very short example, you can just take the example of mobile recharges. Mobile phone recharges, if you are taking for 3 months, it is something you are costing large. When you take for 1 year, it goes around 3,000. So this is how enterprise agreements is also. And these enterprise agreements are basically, when you do the enterprise agreements, Microsoft assures that your services will always be up and running. That is a very important part. So if there is any downtime, so you get the credit from the Microsoft will pay you for that. So this is how the agreements are done on the services. They are going on the services which Microsoft is going to provide to the customers. And the last one is your partners, that is AWS partners or the Microsoft partners. They can also design and implement your Azure cloud solution. So the best way to any of the person or the faculty members, if we want to do anything on the cloud, if you want to perform labs on the cloud, the best way is to create a personal free account, provide the credit card details. It is same with the Microsoft, Google, as well as for the AWS. You need to provide the credit card details, and you can take the $300. $300 is for Google, sorry. $200 is with the Microsoft. So that was all about the subscription part. Now the second important is, just as you can see in this diagram, when you talk about a subscription, the moment you take the subscription from the Microsoft, there will be a single Azure account that will be linked. So within that account, there can be a multiple subscription. So what is that? Multiple subscription is nothing but, when you talk about a grouping of multiple subscription, that is a management group. So management group can include multiple subscriptions. So once you inherit some of the properties to the management group, that goes to the subscription, and this is how the flow, this is the logical hierarchy of architect of the Azure. So you have the subscription, then after the subscription there will be a resource group, and after the resource group there will be a resources, as Professor Rashmi Tiwari has already explained you in this in a very better way, how you are going to deploy resources in one subscription in a resource group. You can take one resource group for virtual machines, you can take another resource group for database. That also bifurcation you can do depending on your department. So management group is nothing but it is a group of subscriptions that basically comes under an Azure account only. So when you talk about the grouping of subscription, where will be all the subscription, it will be under the manage or management group. So that was all about the subscription part. Just give me a minute. Okay. Now moving on to the second part is your Entra. So whenever you talk about the Entra, yeah, again, one very important point I am missing here is, when you take the subscription, you will be a global administrator. Remember this part, very important. So I will write here. I will show you the changes when we create the users, global administrator. So if the moment person creates an Azure subscription, he becomes a global administrator. So any of the person, if he takes the subscription, he becomes a global administrator. It means he has the full access of the Entra ID. Like if I go to this account, this is my account, as you can see, and if I go to this Entra ID, you can see on my screen, this is Microsoft Entra ID, or you can search here, and there is only one user. This is me. By default, there will be only one user, that is my account, and you can see on the left hand side blade of the manage, there is roles and administrator. Go to the roles and administrator. Here you can see it is a global administrator. So this is my original account. If I create any of the user, he will not be a global administrator. He will be only a user. The global administrator means he has the full access of this portal. And if I create any other user, he will only be the user. He will not be able to do anything with the portal. That is nothing but, when I need to provide the global administrator part to that user, I will be using the Entra ID roles. These roles. So that part we will see afterwards when I will create the user. Here it will be only user. Now this is my original account and this is associated with the subscription. So this is my original account and this is my default directory. So this user is the global administrator. So you can see here, uh, this is your default directory and this is my primary domain. I had provided this name as I will zoom in. This was the domain of Microsoft, or I had taken Outlook, that's why it's Outlook here. If it is Hotmail, here it will be showing Hotmail, and this will be common, this will be on Microsoft.com. This can't be changed, this will be common. And this is my identity. This you can provide anything like Rashid Patel 2026. And again, one important part is license. So this is free license, but you can upgrade it to premium P1 and P2. So what is that? We will see that afterwards. So just remember the license is free here. And in free, there are some things you will not be able to do, like multi-factor authentication. If I talk about multi-factor authentication, if you want to implement multi-factor authentication of some of the users, so you can't do it in free. You need to have uh, premium P1 and P2. So inside the Intra ID, there are some plans you need to opt for. There are some licenses you need to opt for. So moving on to the second part now. This was all about the subscription. Moving on to the second part is your intra ID. So when you talk about the intra ID, so that is basically AIAM. That is your identity and access management. So what is basically identity and access management solution? That is a cloud-based solution. That is authentication and authorization. Authentication is basically you will be providing, you identify that person or service seeking access to the resource. So you will be providing the user ID and password to that person. And once you provide the credentials to that person, proper credentials to that person, he will be able to log into that portal or he will be able to log into any of the website. After that, what he is going to access, what type of access you are going to provide. Like if someone wants to authenticate on the cloud, I will provide him user ID password and after that I will ask him or her what kind of access you need. You need an access of virtual machine, I will provide an access of virtual machine. I can provide the full access of the portal also. I can provide the access on the resources also. So that is basically the authorization that determines an authenticated person or service level of access. What service he will be able to access. Defines which data they can access and what they can do with it. Which data they can access, like virtual machines they can access. They can't access storage account. Like that way, you need to provide the authorization. In simple words, authentication is nothing but you will be providing the legitimate credentials, and authorization is nothing but how much access you are going to provide to that user. That comes under the authorization. Now coming to the most important part is your intra ID. Just give me a minute. Sufyan sir, is my screen visible? Actually, there are some network issues. Just give me 2 minutes, 2 more minutes.
ஆமா. ஈடுபடுமா?
Sorry for the.
பார்த்துட்டு
Please mute yourself, everyone.
போறதுனால
It's a
வேற
request to all the faculty members. Please mute yourself. Okay. Sorry for the inconvenience. There were some network issues. That's why I have switched off my video also. So I will continue with the session now. So we were just going back to the intra ID. So when you talk about the intra ID, it is an identity and access management solution. So what kind of access you are going to provide to the users, and how you are going to manage the users, how you are going to manage the groups. So uh, this all comes under the Microsoft Intra ID. Basically, uh, when you talk about the Intra ID security, there comes two more important concepts. That is basically multi-factor authentication, as you can see here, how to authenticate the users, provide the second authentication level, that is multi-factor authentication, and conditional access. So these both things we will deal these things tomorrow in the Microsoft security. I will show you how to provide the multi-factor authentication to the users and how to provide the conditional access. Depending on the conditions, the users will be allowed or the users will be denied. So depending on the conditions, it will be there, it will be done. But currently, when you talk about how to configure the users, how to manage the users, so basically, just take an example. When I talk about the subscription, if anyone wants to use the cloud services, or she should have a subscription. If not, the another way is that if someone is having the subscription, you can tell him, just provide me the authentication and authorization part. Means he will be creating a user and he will provide you the access for certain amount of time, or for according to your application, according to your needs, he will be providing your access. So basically, when you talk about the Intra ID, it is a cloud-based identity and access management service. So these are some of the uh, more secure access. You can use the Intra ID for this, configuring access to the applications, how you are going to create the applications on the cloud. So these are all the things you are going to deal with. Configuring the single sign on to the SaaS applications. So single sign on is nothing but you can use only one ID and password to multiple applications. So this all the things, how to configure the access to the applications on premises, on different cloud platforms, how to configure the single sign on, how to manage the users and groups, how to provision the users, how to provide the identity management solution, how to identify the irregular sign-in activities. These all the things can be done on the Intra ID. So basically, you are going to play with the users. You are going to track the activities of the users and the groups. You can create the groups also. You can put the users in that groups also. These all the things can be done on Azure Intra ID. So as you can see in this diagram, initially, before we know about Windows Server Active Directory. The authentication is basically done by the Kerberos or NTLM. And when it comes to the Microsoft Intra ID, the authentication is done by SAML, OpenID, and WS Federation, and the authorization is done by the OAuth. So this is basically used like the Microsoft Intra ID is used for authentication and authorization purpose, how to deal with the users, how to provide the roles and everything. So when you talk about the Microsoft Intra ID concepts, so this is basically your identity. As I told you, when you take the subscription, you need to provide the identity. One identity, one account will be created, and there will be a one tenant. Tenant is nothing but a trusted instance. A tenant is automatically created when your organization signs up for the Microsoft. I will show you that part. When you talk about the Microsoft Intra ID, you can see the one tenant will be created. Here is your tenant ID. And you can manage the tenants also, you can add the tenants also. This is your default directory. This is one tenant. You can create the tenants also. So that will be only one instance that will be created at the time of taking the subscription. So these are some of the concepts, or these are some of the terms of the Microsoft Intra ID. One is your identity, another one is your Microsoft Intra ID account, then tenant, or you can call it as a directory, and the Azure subscription. Now, what is the difference between Windows Server Active Directory and the Microsoft Intra ID? So Intra ID is, as you know, it is a primary identity solution. Query can be done by REST APIs over the HTTP and HTTPS. As I told you, authentication is basically done by some of the protocols like SAML, WS Federation, and OpenID Connect. And Intra ID creates users in a flat structure. No OUs or GPOs are there, as when we compare with the Windows Server Active Directory. Next part is your P1 and P2. So see, this is what I wanted to show you. This is my portal, and as you can see here, it is Microsoft Intra ID free. So Intra ID plans are also there. So one is free, one is premium P1, that is called as premium one, another one is premium 2, and third one is governance. So there are four plans: free, P1, P2, and governance. So when you go for premium P1 and P2, these are some of the features. Like as you can see on this, premium P1 and P2 are, P2 is nothing but it is having all the features. Now see, multi-factor authentication is there in free, but you can see conditional access is not there in free. Okay, so you can't use conditional access policies in free. Conditional access policies means just take an example. I created one user, and if that user is trying to log into that portal from India location, he will be allowed. And if that user is trying to log in to the portal from some other location apart from India country, so he will be denied. So that is nothing but you will be defining the conditions. You can provide the IP address also of the location. Everything you can provide. That practicals, that labs we will see tomorrow. So conditional access, as you can see, there is no tick for conditional access. This is my free account. If I go to the conditional access, I will just show you. This is Microsoft Intra ID conditional access. See the cursor. So here you can't create the policies. See, this is grayed out. So for this, you need to upgrade to premium P1 or P2. So I had upgraded here. I had upgraded my account. This is my default directory. This is same account. As you can see upside, this is my same account. This is Rashid Patel 2026 at the rate Outlook. So you need to upgrade your account to premium P2, and you can see here there is manage licenses. Okay, and one subscription. So I need to update it to premium P2. I just need to see here conditional access. I think that was my another account. It's okay. Yeah, it's not updated. Here also it is grayed out, so we need to upgrade it. I think one account is there. I will show you that account. I don't remember that account. Give me a minute. It's okay. When we deal with the conditional access tomorrow, we will see that part. Now moving on to back to the PPT. Yeah. So this is the premium P1 and P2 plans. Like if you want to have some more benefits in Entra ID, so you can upgrade it to premium P1 and P2 plan. So you will be getting more features like conditional access, like multi-factor authentication, like your privilege identity management. Privilege identity management is nothing but uh, for 15 minutes only, for 20 minutes only, depending on the time, you will be providing the access to the users. And the last one is your, then we will start with the labs once we complete this one. Last one is your self-service password reset. So what is self-service password reset? Whenever you create, this is basically called it as an SSPR. Short form is SSPR. So whenever you create the users, so it will bypass the administrator decks and you can reset your passwords, and the authentication method that is basically used to reset the password means you don't need to contact your admin department, you don't need to contact your admin department or the security administrator to reset your password. You can reset your passwords by using the SSPR. So the authentication method is email on the phone, like verification code will be sent on the email or SMS on the mobile phones, or there can be your some security questions that will be allowed. So this SSPR, self-service password reset, can be or can be activated on the users, but this also you need premium P1 and P2. So you need to have premium P1 and P2 account for this one. So this was all about the Entra ID. Again, I will just have a brief overview what we had seen today. What is subscription? And whenever you are going to take a subscription, you will be a global administrator. That original account, that original user will be a global administrator. He will have full access to the Entra ID. That is basically your identity and access management. And before it was Azure Active Directory, now it's Azure Entra ID. And the next part is your, I will show you the roles afterwards. And now what we will do is we are going to create the users, how to create the user. So basically in simple words, I will show you if you want to deploy cloud services on any platforms, AWS as it is the leading provider, Azure, Google, you need to have a subscription. If you don't have a subscription, the person who has the subscription, like me, I have the subscription, I can provide you the access by Entra ID. And what kind of access you need, that we need to see to it, like what kind of access. I will ask you what deployments you need to do on the cloud. It can be virtual machine, so I will just provide you the virtual machine access. That also labs we are going to cover today only. So this was all about the Entra ID session. Now moving towards the creation of the user account, that is the lab session. We will take a break of 20 minutes. Sorry, we will take a break of 20 minutes, and then after that we can start with the session. you can take the break of 20 minutes, and after 20 minutes we will meet up.
मैं अभी फोन करके दे रखी
Yeah, so let's start with the labs practical session. Uh, so basically, yeah, so am I audible?
Yes, sir, you're audible, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Sir, but your voice is bit low.
Yes, ma'am. Actually, there are some connectivity issues at my home today. Okay. Uh, this was the portal. Yeah. So I just wanted to show you this part. Now we are going to start with the labs. Uh, yeah. So whenever you create any of the users, the user can be a member or guest. So that can be like, I will show you this slide. You can see here. You can create the user, a new user in your organization that will be a member, or there are some, for example, there are some faculty members, they want to go onto the cloud. That is, there are some on premises users that is using the Windows Server Active Directory, and you need to transfer that users towards the cloud. So that will be a second part, that is directory synchronized identities. That is, directory synchronization means the on-premises users will be synchronized towards the cloud, and that is basically done by Active Directory Connect. This is a software that is done so that you can put that users in this AD Connect, and that will be transferred towards the cloud. So this is, the source will be your Windows Server Active Directory. So this will be also the member. Cloud identities will also be a member, but the guest user is a guest user, that is an invited user, and that user will be like, I will be sending a invitation on the mail to that user, and that will be an invited user. So this is how the users type fluctuate in two parts. One is member, another one is guest. Guest is nothing but an invited user. Now this is important, very important. He must be a global administrator. If I created one user, by default, if I take a subscription, I will be a global administrator. Those who have the subscription, those who is taking the subscription from the Microsoft from scratch, You just sign up to the Microsoft, provide the credit card details, everything. He will be a global administrator. Now, if any of the faculty members ask me, I also need the credentials, so I will provide the credentials. He will only be a user. So I can convert that user into global administrator also. That roles are intra ID roles. So here it is going to show how to manage the users. He must be a global administrator. If he is a global administrator, then only he can manage the user. Now I am the global administrator, then only I can create the users. Once I create one user, like if I create a user Sahir Khan, or if I create a user Sufyan, if I create a user Rashmi ma'am, so that user will only be a user. They will not be able to create another users until and unless I provide the roles. Again, the second part is user profile. You need to provide, you can provide the picture, you can provide the job title, you can provide the contact. That is basically an optional. Once you create the users, you can delete the users also. Once the users are deleted, you can restore that users within the 30 days. And all the things like the user is signing at what time, what kind of how many times he has been blocked. If you want to implement the multi-factor, all the audit logs, all the sign-in logs will be available for that user. So this was the first part of the users. Now I am moving towards the lab. We will see how to create the user and how to provide the roles. Very important. So this is my portal. Now, when I talk about creating the users, I need to go to the intra ID. Simple as that. We need to focus on intra ID. I go to the intra ID, and if you can see here, there is only one user. Here it is showing me one. This is only one user, and that is my default. I am only the user because I had created this account. So this is me, and this is also a member. I am not on premises synchronized. This is no. When some of the users are from the on premises, then it will be yes. Now I will be creating a user, new user, create user, and this will be something called as yeah, hello world. So this is how I am creating. You need to just, I will show you the steps. You need to go to the intra ID, and here also there is a user. You can select here also manage user, or you can go to here user and create new user. You can use both of the options, whatever you like to. New user, you can create the user, or you can invite the user. Invite is nothing but a mail will be sent to them. But I will first show you the user, how to create it. This is basically what we can take is hello world, and the password can be auto generated also, and you can create the password. I'm just taking the password. So this is the password, and other things like first name, job information, so contact information. This is optional. Let it be seen. And then you can add the group at the role. I will not add the role now. I will show you afterwards. Now only there is one user. See, the user has been created. Successfully created the user. That is hello world. Now I will refresh this portal, and this is my original directory. Remember this. This is my original directory. That is Rashid Patel 2026. Now there are two users. You can see it. Hello world is also come. So the difference between these two things is that, see, this is my default domain. Any of the user I will create, any user, this will be same. Rashid Patel 2026 outlook.com, on this will be same, only the name will be there, hello world or Sachin or any other name. So that is by user principal name, and this domain will not be changed, this will be same. So he is also a member. Now what I will do, I will copy this user. I will take log into this user from an window. Let's see. This is hello world. Next, and the password. Initially, when you create a user, initially he has to reset the password. So the password
Everyone, please wait. Sir will join soon. There is a disconnection of internet. Please come.
Yeah, sorry for the inconvenience. Sir, am I audible? That's why I don't know. It's happening today only. I am having two internet connections. That is also okay. Let it be. So that's why it's. I was unable to log into that account because of internet connectivity. Let's see to it again. If there is any, yeah, this was my user. Hello world. I am trying to sign into that user, and now, yeah. Initially, at the first prompt, you have to reset the password. Take some time. There is some issue with the portal, I think. Just give me a minute. let's see it's login or not. Yeah, so it's login. So now you can see this is the portal of Hello World. Okay, if you have any questions, put it to the chat. I will just guide you. So this is the see this is my original portal. As you can see, when I will switch the cursors, just remember two things. Just see on the right hand side, you will come to know the difference. On the right hand side, on the top, this is my default directory. But here, default directory के अंदर एक bracket आ गया. That is, this is the users. When you talk about you have created any users, that will be a default directory. Inside that, there will be a bracket. That will be my domain. So this is the user which I had created hello world, and this is my default directory. Now the difference between the two both the things is that this user cannot do anything. I am going to Entra ID because see here it is showing do not have a subscription. I am going to Entra ID. Sorry, I will go to virtual machines first. See, it will be reverted back to the page. I will go to storage account. It will be reverted back to the page. So he cannot do anything. He can go to Intra ID, but he cannot do anything. I am going to Intra ID. I will go to manage users. See, it is grayed out. So he can't create the users also. He can invite the external user, but this option is not grayed out, but invitation will also be the validation failed. He can't invite also until and unless I will provide the roles. One thing I needed to show you here is that when I talk about this user, you can't do anything here. You can't play with the resources because when you talk about the virtual machines, when you talk about the storage accounts, when you talk about the app services, I am just clicking on the Kubernetes. So see again, welcome to Azure, do not have a subscription. When you talk about the resources, all the resources, like it can be AI services also, again, here you can see only the AI services, but you can't create any of the services because you are just a user. One more thing I needed to show you here is basically, yeah. So this is your intra ID and see here the roles and responsibilities of the user. Yeah, this is the user. And when I go to my account, I am the global administrator. Because I am the global administrator, I can do anything. Roles and responsibilities. Here. So I can convert this user to global administrator. I need to assign roles. But initially, I will not convert it into global administrator. Before that, I will provide an application administrator role. So whenever you are going to provide the roles of the intra ID, these are all the intra ID roles. This is nothing to do with the resources. Virtual machines से कोई लेना देना नहीं है, ना storage account, nothing to do with the resources. These are all the roles that is only associated with the intra ID. Like if I provide the role of application administrator, that user will be able to create an application. He will be able to manage all the aspects of the application registration and interface. So whatever the applications that is there in the organization, either it can be Office 365, Outlook, any of the application, he will be able to create the new applications also, and he will be able to see all the aspects of the application registration. So what I will do initially, I will show you one thing here. Uh, yeah, this is basically, yeah, so this is my intra id and this is enterprise application. So you can see here I can create a new application. I am into my portal again. I will show you. I am going bit fast. because there are a lot more topics to cover today. So this is my portal. This is enterprise applications. If any applications you need to develop, you need to create any application, you can create new application. So when I click on new application, see you can create your applications. But when the same thing, I will go to the hello world, going to his default directory. This is hello world. Okay. This is hello world directory. Just mark these things. Roles is you, sorry, roles and responses. Enterprise applications, new application. But see, it is grayed out. So hello world will tell me that I need to develop an application. I need to create an application on the cloud. Please provide me the role of application administrator. So I will be providing the role of application administrator. This is again on my account. Again, I am going to the Entra ID. I will see this is grayed out. He is unable to create the application. He can't do anything. Now what I will do, I need to go to the users. This is my original account. I will go to hello world, and if I see this assign roles, you can see here assign roles. Assign roles is basically there is no roles assigned. Now I will assign the role. This is all directory roles. See, beauty of the Microsoft. These are all the roles. This is global administrator roles. All the roles he can see. Password administrator means he can reset the passwords. He can reset the passwords of all the users. So I will select this part, application administrator. I will add it. Here it goes. It takes some time to reflect here. Sometimes it 5 to 10 minutes also, but it can be reflected. Just wait for 2 to 3 minutes for this. I think it will take. Yeah, now it's coming. It's application administrator. The hello world is provided. So I will go to overview of the hello world. Now you can see this is my original account. This is hello world user, and assigned role is one. This one role is nothing but application administrator. You can assign many roles. He can be an application administrator, he can be a password administrator, he can be a global administrator. The highest role is the global administrator. Global administrator is nothing but he can do anything with the Entra ID. Now this is basically your application administrator role. Now go to the hello world. I am going back to the hello world. This is my hello world directory. Going back to the Entra ID. Again, if you see going to the enterprise applications, going to the new applications, it's not yet reflected. I think it will to reflect here. He create the application. Just give me a minute. I'm refreshing the page. Now you can see create your new application. You create your own application is not grayed out because I had provided the role. So he can create the application. This is the hello world. Again, if I delete this one, I'm just showing you how can you do the administrator kind of work with this. I am removing the assignment. Go back. It is been removed. Now I am going back to the hello world. It will be grayed out. It will take some time, sometimes like 5 to 10 minutes it takes to reflect. Now also it's showing, but it will be grayed out after 5 minutes. It depends on the portal available. Yeah, it is grayed out. It is grayed out. So this was one of the role I provided of the application administrator. But the thing is that application administrator will not be able to create the users. So just I will provide the highest role of global administrator. Again, I am into the portal. Again, I am into the hello world portal. I am going to the active directory, sorry, Entra ID. I am going to the user. I am going to the new user, it's grayed out. I can't create the user. And here also, if you see here, here also, if you are going to create the user, you will not be able, this is showing, but you will not be able to create. At last the validation fails. I will not show you that part because it will take a lot of time. What we will do now, I am going to provide the highest role to that user. Again, one more thing. uh, these are also grayed outs. Let's see to this one. Hello world, mobility is grayed out, password reset is grayed out. Whereas in case of my account, that is my original account, that is my default directory, this is all things because I am the global administrator. So see, mobility, password. So when I provide the global administrator role to the hello world, he will be able to do anything on the Entra ID. I am providing the okay. I am providing the global administrator role. Just give me a minute. Now there is no roles assignment. Uh, yeah, where is that user? This is the user. There are two users. Hello world. So there is no roles. Now the roles are zero. Now what I will do? I will go to the default directory. I will go to the users. Hello world. I will assign the role of global administrator. So this is basically you need to refresh the portal after assigning the role. Yeah, now it's global administrator. Now you go to this one. I am refreshing my portal of hello world. You can see to this. You can create the user. So this is the beauty. I will be creating the user for you. This will be Rashid Patel 458. So see, he will be able to create the user. Now I am into the hello world. There will be three users, and this users will be reflected in my portal also. That will be my original directory. This thing, three users. So once I delete this role now, I will just go to that user. I will delete that role. This is a very hectic part when you talk about the administrator. Everything you have to deal with. This is it. Oh, this is okay. This is assigned role. I was deleting the user. So I am deleting this global administrator now. Deleted. Now I am into the hello world again. It is grayed out. Now you can't be able to create. So this is how you can provide the intra ID roles. So see the difference between intra ID roles and the RBAC roles. RBAC is nothing but role-based access control. We will come to that. The difference between the two is that intra ID roles means you will be playing into the intra ID only. You will be there into the intra ID only and you will be providing the roles. When you talk about the RBAC, you need to go to the resources like virtual machines, like storage accounts. You will be providing the roles to the users for that. That practicals also we need to see. So this was the first part, how to create the users, how to provide the roles to these users. Now the second thing is nothing but how to create the bulk users. So Just I will be logging out to that account. Again, I will be going to my original account. Yes, if anyone having questions, please put it into the chat, Ratan sir. Definitely, I will answer to that questions, or our chat moderator will answer that questions. So the second thing is how to create the bulk users. So for that, you need to go to the users, bulk operation, bulk create. So there will be a CSV file. So again, bulk account. You can see there will be a CSV file. You need to download that CSV file from the portal. And once you download that CSV file from the portal, you can just make changes in that CSV file. You can add the names, add the designations, everything, and you can upload it, and then the users will be created. Like just take an example how you can do this. This is basically I am going again to the portal, and this is your users, and you can bulk users, create, download the CSV file. This is CSV file has been downloaded. I will be I will open this file, and you need to provide, very important, you need to provide this one. This is one of my user. So you need to provide this one. So this is user principal name you need to provide. I had copied this one. I am just zooming in again. Just give me a minute. Yeah. So this is basically the first user. I will provide this user as NKC1. This name will be NKC1, then NKC2, NKC3, NKC4, NKC5. I am not much good at Excel. NKC2, there are some shortcuts also. I can understand that. NKC3, NKC4, NKC5. This is the password. India at the rate 123456. Block login, that will not be enabled. Like this is basically done. You can fill additional details also, first name, last name, job title details. Whatever we are going with the portal on the GUI mode, you can do also. Now you can save, save, everything is done. Yeah. Now is that part. Again, my portal, users. I can click create. It's taking time. Just give it a minute. Yeah. So bulk create. I need to upload that file now. Upload your CSV file. Now there are only three users. You can see one is my one. I am the user who has created the account. That is basically this one. The identities will be this Microsoft account. This is my original user. And these users I have created. One was Hello World, another was Rashid Patel. So now I will upload that file. Let's see to it. This is the file. Submit. It has been uploaded successfully. You can see it's okay, in progress, it's okay, but it has been uploaded. You can cancel this. Now you can refresh and you can see all the users will be reflected. This is only the GUI mode. There are a lot of other modes also. You can create multiple users by PowerShell also, by CLI also. So that is something different. So this was one of the things. Just I'm just So this is all the users. As you can see, all the users are the member users only. None of the users are the guest. Why so? Because till now I had not invited any user. So this was the first part. You can create the users, you can create the bulk users, you can provide the roles to that users. I am just talking about the intra ID roles. We had gone through two roles. One was the global administrator and another one was the application administrator. There are many other roles also. This was the practical which we had gone through. We had created 5 users and uploaded it onto the code. Now the beauty is that, see, these are the 5 users. I will try to delete this one. Let's see what happens. You can't delete your original user. Remember that. See what it's showing me. User deletion partially succeeded. Some users cannot be deleted. That is the original Microsoft account. So some users could not be deleted. So I will refresh. It has been deleted all the users. So see all the users are gone. Only my account user can't be deleted. That is the main thing, or else someone will take my account as a global administrator and he will be deleting the users. One more part I need to show you now. Uh, yeah. So now what I have done, I have deleted the users. So see this slide, it was written somewhere, deleted users can be restored for 30 days. So once you deleted the users, it will be there in your portal. It will be there in your portal. Where is the deleted users? Okay, just give me a minute. Deleted users. See deleted users. You can search the deleted users. You can go to the deleted users. You will see this deleted users. Again, I am duplicating this one. Okay. What was the password? I was unable to remember. Let's see. There are so many accounts. So let's see last time, or else we will see to that portal. Yeah, it's gone. So what I will show you, this is both the tabs. Yeah, this is both my original account only. I had duplicated the tabs. So I am into the Microsoft Entra ID. You can see here, if you can see here only one user because I had deleted all the users. Now, when you go to the deleted user, you can see all these users. You can just select all these users. You can restore that users. You can select individually also whatever the users you need. This will be available for 30 days. Users are permanently deleted automatically 30 days. You can't take the data after 30 days. But you can restore these users, you still restore. and it's been restored. I will just go back to my account and you will see this users will be again on my portal. Okay, it's only one reflecting. I don't know why. I had selected only one. I don't know. Restore users. 8 users are restored. It's showing 8 users. Let's see, it will take some time to reflect. Sometimes it takes 5 minutes or yeah, it's showing now. So there was one more user. Yesterday I created Virat Kohli also. So these are all the things that was related to the Entra ID. Now the second part here is basically we'll delete all these users. I don't need the users. Okay. Now coming back to the second part is your role based access control. So there are two types of roles. When you talk about the intra ID roles, so that is basically the roles which I shown you: application administrator, the role of global administrator, the role of password administrator, the role of user administrator. These are all the roles of intra ID. Means he will be able to do all the things in intra ID only. If you are providing the role of global administrator, all the intra ID things he will be able to do. But what about if someone asks me, I want to deploy virtual machines on cloud, or if I want to create a user on cloud. If some This is two different questions. I want to create the users, I want to manage the users on the cloud. So I will provide him the intra ID roles. But if someone is asking me about the resources part, like I want to deploy the Kubernetes services, I want to play with the DevOps, I want to deploy storage accounts, I want to uh, build some machine learning algorithms. So that kind of thing, you need to provide the RBAC control. Role-based access control means only that role will be provided to that users for particular amount of time. Like it is a fine grained access management. Fine grained is nothing but very well defined. I will ask him or her for how much time you need that role, what you are going to deploy. You will be deploying that virtual machine, how much time you need that. So I will provide the time also, like for 1 hour, I will provide the access. After that 1 hour, it will be disabled. He will not be able to do anything. So this is basically done because it segregates the duty within the teams and grant only the amount of access to the users that they need to perform the jobs. If someone asks me, I want to access the virtual machines, so I can't provide the full access. I can provide the full access of the subscription also. I will show you that also. Means what I am doing with my original account now, I can provide access to any of the faculty members. But the thing is that if I provide the access, someone will deploy everything. Like he or she will be deploying the virtual machines. I'm just taking an example. He will be deploying virtual machines. He will be deploying storage account. The credit will be deducted from my account. That's the problem. So we need to segregate the duties. You need to plan the duties. Like one faculty will be dealing with the virtual machines, another faculty will be dealing with the storage accounts. Like that way, you need to plan the duties. You need to segregate the duties within the team, and you need to grant only the amount of access to the users what they need to perform the jobs. Enable the access to the Azure portal and controlling access to the resources. Now you can see when you talk about the RBAC, it manage access to the resources. It manage access to the resources. But when you talk about the intra ID, it manage access to the intra ID objects. Intra ID objects is nothing but password reset, then users creation, then application creation, everything. So this is basically at the tenant level when talk about the intra ID, and Azure RBAC role is at multiple levels. This is basically, it can be on the resource group, it can be on the subscription, it can be on the resources. So I will show you how to provide this access of RBAC. I will create one user, and then we will take a break of 5 to 10 minutes, a tea break after this lab, and last part, it will hardly take 30 minutes, we will wind up the session. So now there is no user. Okay, now I will create one user. That user will be a, what name should I provide to this user? Hello world. So this is basically the user that has been created. Now I will try to log into this user. Now see the beauty. Now forget about the intra ID. I am talking about the RBAC roles. So this user has been created. I will go to the portal. Yeah. So I will use the account. This is my user. Hello world. Copy. Paste. Next. Initially, it will ask me to. I think the attendance link and the feedback link is provided. You can fill that form. So this is basically the user which I am trying to log in. Hello world. Now I am going to show you some changes here. I am not going into the Active Directory, nothing. I am going to the virtual machines. No way, I don't have a subscription. I am going to the storage account. I don't have a subscription. So I will not be able to do anything. I will not be able to do it because I don't have a subscription. But what if someone provides me the subscription? I can provide the subscription to this user, hello world, but I will not provide the subscription. I will provide the access on particular resource first. Like, see, this is the hello world. I am going to the virtual machine. I am again backing out, like don't have a subscription. So he will be able to create. He will not be able to create. There are some roles. I will show you that roles. He will be able to manage that virtual machines. Storage account also, no way. I don't have a subscription. Now I will provide the roles. Now for that you need to go to the subscription in my original portal. Subscription. You can see access control to the users. Access control, add, add role assignment. And here are the roles. So when you talk about the intra ID, the highest role was the global administrator. Here, the roles are divided into two parts. Job functions roles. Job functions role is nothing but what job that user is going to perform. Like the job related to the virtual machine, you can provide the virtual machines roles. See, there are a lot of roles of virtual machines. virtual machine admin login, virtual machine contributor. You can view these roles, means what access he can do. Or the second part is your privilege administrator role. Privilege administrator role is basically, it's not showing. Just give me a minute. Here the highest role is owner. Let me refresh. Sometimes it happens there might be a portal. Yeah, now it's showing. So here see the highest role is owner. Now the thing is that if I provide the owner role, he will be having full access of the portal. Full access. He can do create the virtual machines, the storage account, every resources. Every resources. And the second thing is that he can assign the roles to the other user also. But in case of contributor, he will have full access, but he will not be able to assign the roles. Means he can only access the portal. So there are a lot of roles, but initially I will provide the virtual machine role. I am going bit fast because yeah, virtual machine contributor. So you can see let you manage virtual machine. You can manage virtual machine, you can't create the virtual machine. You will not be able to create, only you can manage. Means whatever the virtual machines has been deployed, you can manage that. You can change, make few changes in that virtual machine, but not access to them and not virtual network or storage. So you can just manage, you can see that virtual machines. I will just show you this part first. Then again, when you click on to the next, you need to select that user, which user, and you will select the members. This is my hello world. I selected hello world. Selected members are hello world. Select. It is selected. Now review and create. So it's added. The role has been added. Now what I will do, this is my hello world. Now I am refreshing this page. Now if I select virtual machine, see, previously it was backing out. Now you can see, you can go back to the virtual machine. This happens after 5 minutes, it will be gone because just now I had provided the role, that is basically due to the APIs. So you can create, you can see you can't create, but you can just see to the virtual machines. Create, as Rashmi ma'am has already explained you beautifully about all these things, resource group. So you don't have the permission to create. You can't create the virtual machine, but whatever the virtual machines that is deployed in this portal, you can able to access that virtual machine. You can able to see that virtual machine. Now what I will do, now the second thing is, yes, please mute yourself. Uh, yeah, now what I will do, I will provide the I will provide the owner role to that user. This is my original account. Going to the subscription, see to this again, he is not having a subscription. This is hello world. Resource access, got the subscription, but it's for your resource access. Hello world is having a resource access subscription, and that resource is only virtual machine. He can access that virtual machine. He can't create that virtual. He can't create the virtual machine. Only access. Only see that virtual machines. What virtual machines have been deployed. What are the configurations of that virtual machines. Now what I will do. Now I will provide the global administrator. See the difference. Resource access. See here account access. Account admin. So I will provide the role of account admin now. Going back to the IAM, add role assignment, owner. highest role I will provide, owner, privilege administrator roles. Hello world. Select. Next. Okay. Now see these things. Wow. Microsoft is also thinking why he is providing the full access to the user. Allow user to only assign selected roles, that is fewer privileges. Only selected role. Allow user to assign all roles of privilege administrator, that is owner. I will provide the highest privilege. So when I select this allow users to assign all roles, so see the warning. Owner is a privileged admin that grants the see the Microsoft recommends that you add a condition to narrow the permission. So Microsoft is also in a question mark that why this user is providing the full access to the portal. So that's why this kind of highest privilege पे वो mark आ रहा है warning letter. So it's okay, I will provide it because he can do anything with the portal. Hello world. Now it's been added. Now I will go back to the. I am into my portal. I am into this. I am into my portal. I am going to the users. Entra ID. This is users. So I am showing you this part. So see the difference. See the difference here. The assigned roles. I am into the hello world in my original directory. The assigned roles are the intra ID roles. Let's see. We had provided anything on the intra ID. I don't know. Yeah, we had not provided earlier. But this one, Azure role assignments are your RBAC roles. So see this, there are two roles. One is virtual machine, another one is owner. Now I will go back to the subscription. I just refresh to that Hello World subscription, and you can see here now it is converted to role. Now it has been converted to owner. Now you can go back to this hello world. You can do anything like virtual machines. Go create the virtual machine. No one will tell you anything. Storage account, you are going to able to create the storage account. As you can see, I will show you this part. Storage account like create one RG1 Rashid1. Okay, my storage something very unique, then it will be locally redundant because of the cost. And next. I am into the hello world account. Remember this, I am not into my original directory. So this was all things that was beautifully explained again by our head of department, Professor Rashmi Tiwari. So this is how, see, it is basically it is been deploying. Like you can create anything. So these are all RBAC rules. Yeah, it has been deployed. Okay. So again, I will go back to my portal and I will delete these roles. Or else, why should I delete the roles? I will delete the users directly. So this is how this is all about the RBAC and Intra ID. Now we will move on to the last part of today's session, and definitely tomorrow's session will be very interesting regarding the security part, regarding multiple manipulations on the portal related to multi-factor authentication and conditional access and security related to the storage also I will show. Before that, we will just conclude this last part of today's is we completed with the subscription part. What is subscription? And when a person creates a subscription or a person takes the subscription from the Microsoft, he will be a global administrator. Just give me. Then we had gone through the Intra ID. Initially, it was called as Azure Active Directory. Now its name has been Intra ID. Intra ID is nothing but how you are going to provide the roles and how you are going to provide create the users, how you are going to manage the users. That is basically the Intra ID. And then lastly, we had gone through the RBAC, that is basically role-based access control. That is fine-grained access management. How much role a person needs, that much role only you can provide on the cloud. You can't provide the full access. Then now there is two more topics remaining, that is pricing calculator and TCO. Then we will wind up the session. Let's see to this. Where is that slide? Yeah. So see, one thing you might have noticed, whenever you are going to deploy virtual machine, you don't see the cost of that virtual machine. You will not be able to see the cost. You just need to configure that virtual machine, and once you had configured that virtual machine, like you are going to deploy that virtual machine in East US, then you are going with the operating system disk, then whatever other configuration you need to just configure that virtual machine. At the end, when the validation passed, it will show some 15 rupees per hour. I will just show you that part. I will just move it very fast because this has been already explained you by Professor Rashmi Tiwari ma'am. Uh, Rashid, my BM1. No. ठीक है, so this is your Azure user, this is your password, this is your password, allow port is 3389, this is for RDP connections, and there are a lot more things I can explain you when we talk about the RBAC roles, but the time doesn't. Yeah, I just wanted to show you this part. So you just configured the virtual machines, and you can see here it's showing 10 rupees per hour. It's showing 10 rupees per hour. Once you deploy this virtual machine, it will be costing 10 rupees per hour. Hourly basis charges will be cost. So you can delete that virtual machine after completion of your anything what you want to do with that virtual machine, either testing and development, or else you can stop the virtual machine for certain amount of period so that the cost will not be corrected. So what are the some factors that affect the cost? What are the factors? Resource type. The first one is resource type. So depends on the resource type, like which resources you are going to deploy, what will be the configuration of that resource, and depending on that you will be costing more. Then services, second one is your services. What are these services? I told you, when you talk about the when I take any of the services, you can take it from the enterprise, web direct, CSP customers, cloud service providers. So you can take one year, you can take 3 years agreement. So depending on that also the cost will be minimized. Okay. Just take an example of resource type. If I am deploying a virtual machine of XYZ configuration in India, in West India, okay, just give me a minute. Yeah. So I am deploying the virtual machine in Central India. Just take an example, XYZ, and that is costing me 15 rupees per hour. The same virtual machine is costing me 10 rupees per hour in some other region. So you can deploy in some other region also. So that is how the cost changes. So that is basically first factor is resource type. You can just manipulate the configuration how much you need to it. Like cost is a cost basically is a resource dependent. How you are going to configure the resources. Then again location also where you are going to deploy same which I provided. Resource type is nothing but sorry. Resource type is nothing but your virtual machines or storage. The location is what I told you now. The same kind of configuration will be there will take 15 rupees in India, whereas in other cases it will be 18 rupees. So you can just deploy it in India. So it depends on the location also. Cost, it depends on services. Bandwidth is nothing but anything that is coming into your network that is free, but what you are going to offer towards to the other data center that is going to cost. Then resort instances. Then lastly hybrid benefit. Resource instances is nothing but it is reservations. So it is same as the mobile recharges. You can go for 1 year, you will need to pay something, some less amount. If you are going for 3 months, you need to pay that particular amount. If you go for going for 1 month, that is a big amount. If you take all the calculation, so reservation is nothing but you can take the reservation from the Microsoft that it will be for 1 year, that will be for 3 years, and depending on that, you will be getting the discounts. If you're going for 3 years, you will be getting something around 50% of discount or 72% of the discount, depending on your configurations. And hybrid benefit, if you are having something on the on-premises, you can use that. So when you talk about the concept of deploying anything on the cloud, how you will be going to calculate it? So pricing calculator is a tool that helps you to estimate the cost of the Azure product. Like I can go to pricing calculator. This is available. You can also go to this part. See, this is one. This is AWS pricing calculator also. Create the estimate. You need to put the configurations here. I am going to the Microsoft. So see here all the things are showing. You can select compute all the compute resource. Okay, this in overwriting just you know. Yeah. So this is something again. I don't know why it's showing like this. Okay, let it be. So you can select the virtual machine, add to estimate. Here it will be showing added on my cursor. See, virtual machine added, view. This is my virtual machine. I need to deploy in East US. It is Linux or Windows, operating system, standard or basic, categories, which one? It is like M series, H series, depending on your application. I will compute optimized instances, and this is basically your how many virtual CPUs and RAM. So this is basically your am I audible? Sufyan sir? So that was all about showing. I was showing pricing calculator. So this is virtual machines. I was selecting virtual machines. It's taking time. So whatever you are going to deploy on cloud, you can configure here. You can just add the instances here, and you can see how much it will be costing you. That is nothing but the pricing calculator. So I am just taking an example. This is basically I'm just exporting it directly. You can get a Excel sheet also. This is how much you will be costing per month. 11,439. So this is how you can check the cost. You can add the cost. It is not like virtual machine only. You can add a virtual machine, two virtual machines, three storage accounts, then Kubernetes services, all combinations, how much it will be costing when you are going to deploy on the cloud. This is basically done by the pricing calculator. So you can see to this, it is a tool that helps you to estimate the cost of Azure products. the options that you can configure in pricing calculator vary between the products. So this is what I shown you. Now the next part is your total cost of ownership. So what is total cost of ownership? Remember everything now, whenever you deal with the servers, it is on premises. So total cost of ownership is nothing but it estimates the cost saving you can realize by migrating to Azure. Like for example, you have some of the you have servers, you have bandwidth, you have the data box, everything is on premises. You need to calculate that on premises cost, like on premises cost, how much this kind of configuration which you had implemented on the on premises that will cost you on the cloud. So you can put into the TCO, like you have the three servers on the on premises, same servers you need to configure on the cloud, put it into the TCO. All configurations you will be seeing, and the report will be generated comparing the on-premises infrastructure with the cost of the Azure cloud. So this is what about the TCO. Just I will show you the total cost of ownership also. See here, estimates the cost savings you can realize by migrating your workloads to cloud. Just so, in simple words, whenever you think about deploying something, some of the services on the cloud, like the virtual machines, like the storage account, you can go with the pricing calculator. You will be able to see how much cost you are going to. But if you want to migrate your on-premises workloads, means you have the three servers, you don't want now that part. You need to migrate all the things towards the cloud. That is cloud migration. That is nothing but cloud adoption framework. CAF we called it. CF, cloud adoption framework. So you will be migrating everything towards the cloud. In this year, you will be migrating few servers towards the cloud. In next year, you will be migrating two to three more servers towards the cloud. So how much cost it will be? So you can just see to the cost by using the TCO, that is total cost of ownership. So this is how you can add the server workload. There are two workloads. This is VM1, this is VM2. On the this is totally of on premises on in your organization. Then you can add the database, then you can add the storage, then you can click on next. I am just showing you the examples. Next, there are a lot of options. See, ऑन प्रीमाइसेस में आपको इतना लग रहा था, that is basically this is on premises total cost of 5 years. So you can select, I had selected 5 years, it was by default 5 years. Here time frame 1 year. So you can see it is unit 5 crores, 5 crores on premises, but on cloud it is something around 74 lakhs. So this is the huge difference, because you don't need to pay for some of the things, like here you need to pay for the IT labor, here you need to pay for the storage, software, electricity, but here the cost breakdown is like you need to pay only for the compute, you need to pay for the storage, you need to pay for the IT. So this is how the beauty of the cloud, and this all the bifurcation of everything will be seen here. So whenever you are thinking, whenever the organization is thinking to migrate its on premises workloads towards the cloud, and they want a estimation क्या कितना cost जा सकता है इतने चीजों का, so you can go for the total cost of ownership. You can directly coordinate with the Microsoft, but if you want to, you are migrating your workloads towards the cloud, you can go for the total cost of ownership. So that is the beauty of this TCO calculator. This is basically the migration of workloads from one department, from the on-premises, from the organization towards the virtual cloud. But when you talk about the cost of cloud, how much it is going to cost, like someone asked me, Karashi sir, this is my configuration of virtual machines. There are three virtual machines, there are four storage accounts, there is one artificial intelligence and machine learning uh, algorithm. So this, how much it is going to cost on the cloud. So I will use the pricing calculator. I need to deploy this much things on the cloud, so I will be using pricing calculator for that. But if you want to migrate your workload from on premises towards the cloud, so you can go for the ECO. So this is how you can manage the cost. Cost management is basically, there are some of the things like location also is an important factor. Resource type is very important. What resource you are going to deploy? Like for example, if you see Geo Cinema or some streaming that is going on, that is all Kubernetes concept. That is all. Netflix is also Kubernetes concept. So whenever you are going to deploy a Kubernetes cluster on the cloud, it will cost you a lot. Like $20, $30 will be deducted in 1 hour. So that is all Kubernetes concept. That is nothing but a containerization platform. So that is some other part. So that depends on the resource type, what resources are you going to deploy. If you are going with the Kubernetes, like if you are going to deal with the DevOps, so you need to cost more. What services you are going to take, how you are going to take the services from the resellers, from the enterprise, that also is one factor. Then location, this was, then your bandwidth, then your reserved instances, then hybrid used benefit. So this was all about the session. So we had covered in two topics. One was the subscription and what is subscription, what, how to obtain the subscription, then intra ID, then lastly we had gone through the cost management and the labs. So that was all about today's session. Thanks everyone for attending the session. Tomorrow we will see regarding the Microsoft security, regarding multi-factor authentication, how to implement multi-factor authentication, conditional access, and lastly we will see about the storage account. And if the time permits, we will also go to the network security also, how to manage the network security like firewalls and network security groups. So again, Sufyan sir has provided you the attendance link along with the feedback link. Thank you for attending the session. You can give the attendance as well as the feedback. Also, the assessment link is also provided into the chat. Thanks everyone for today's session. We will meet you tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rashid sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
I have shared the attendance link and feedback link. Everyone, please fill the feedback form, and we will share the assessment form also. Sir has already shared assessment form. Assessment form link will be closed by 6 p.m. Okay, everyone. Thank you, everyone.